So you guys might as well say hello. You're all here with me. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello.
Hello. So for you folks at home, we are, in response to some of the comments and things that we've been getting, breaking our show up into a couple of sections. So we're still going to stick with our format of the TV and movie news stuff that we have every week, which is going to be under the banner of
The snooze button.
the snooze button.
A bit like those ones you get in Staples, isn't it?
Yeah.
That big red.
Which is this episode that you're listening to now.
So yes, so we will also have another section of the show released on a separate day. We're probably aiming for Thursday, which will be our topic of the week type
Ooh.
bit, which we're going to brand under just another retrocast. So from here on outwards, we are going to be retroing our topics, aren't we, guys?
So that's 2 shows.
2 shows.
Both slightly shorter than the normal show. Maybe more stuff to come further down the line. But that's 2 shows. That's a bit more bite size. Gives you everything you want. Makes it easier on us because of the heat. And yeah.
Yeah.
And attention spans.
And attention spans.
What?
Mostly pools.
What?
Huh?
Where? Are we still here? Is it dinner time yet?
Nearly.
See, there's a lot of energy. So basically all we've got to do is reboot the podcast every week and it'll be fine.
Fine.
And you can look out for our new website, which will be arriving soon, hopefully. Well, give us 20 years. We'll have something up together. And that'll be a place where you can find all of our podcasts when we launch them. So far, we've got 2.
And it'll have links to all the other stuff that we do in and around the land of the internet.
Right. Should we get on with it?
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 1 of the Snooze Button with Mr. Paul Brown,
Hello there.
Mr. Adam Gattrell,
Hello.
Mr. Ross Murphy,
Hello.
and me, Mr. Chris Quinton. So yeah, we've got a bunch of movie news and TV news and stuff coming for you, but first we're going to do a little bit of a consuming section, aren't we? I think.
Yeah.
What have you been watching, Adam? Let's go with you.
I've been rewatching Archer. Since our conversation about Archer after talking about Roger Moore and James Bond,
I love Archer. I really do.
Yeah,
love
I
Archer.
really do.
New season on Netflix, isn't there?
I've been watching it with the girlfriend from the beginning because she's been watching Bob's Burgers, and every time she mentions it to someone, they go, "Oh, have you seen Archer?" And she's gone, "No," and they've gone, "Oh, it's brilliant." But I think it is very blokey humour when you sit down with someone who's not into ridiculously alternative comedy.
Yeah.
Archer suddenly becomes quite a blokey thing, and you
I don't know,
realise
my missus loves it.
Yes, some women do,
No,
but I
she's
think
a
it's
bit-
not. It's not.
What strikes me about Archer is that it's like usually the case that girls are quite, and this sounds really bad for me to say that. I'm not sexualist. What, sexist or
Sexuist.
Sexualist.
I'm a bit sexualist. I'm not misogynistic. But you know, it would strike me that the female-brained types in the world might usually go for stuff that's script-based, and blokes would go for stuff that's more action-based.
It's a mix of
And
the two.
with Archer, it seems to be completely the other way around, because
Yeah.
most girls absolutely hate it, and all of the humour is all script-based.
But
Yeah.
what I think a couple of women I've spoken to since my girlfriend was like, "Yeah, I'm not sure if I like it or not." A couple of women I've spoken to who I watched it with went, "Yeah, it's okay, but there's literally no likeable characters in it." And I was like, "Yeah, but that's kind of the point." And they've gone, "Yeah, but the storyline and the script don't quite make up for the fact that you hate
I
everyone."
don't know. I think they're lovable arseholes, aren't they?
They
Well, yeah,
are.
but I think that's the
This is
thing.
true.
I think that's why you like it, because like me, you like to hate those people.
They're all
you know,
fucked.
yeah,
but in
they're a
an amazing
dysfunctional
way.
family.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people don't find that that's actually enjoyable.
Okay,
So
if you are female and you've seen Archer and you really enjoy Archer,
give us
let
a
us
comment.
know.
Yeah,
We'd love
But
to hear from you.
what do you like? What do you not like?
Anna fucking hates It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because
Really?
she's like, why do you want to spend any time with these people? And I'm like, I don't. They're horrible, but they fucking do silly,
I
stupid,
think a lot of
funny
people.
things.
It's the shouting as well with Philadelphia. Like a lot of people can't deal with the fact that they're all just screaming at each other constantly. Oh, your monitor's going funny, Chris.
What happened there?
You leant on the table and the monitor turned off.
Chris is interrupting the podcast by leaning on his table.
Sorry.
It's still recording. That's a good sign.
To be honest, this isn't really a podcast studio in the same way that the Mary Rose isn't really a boat anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just going to check something.
Just as
I'm just
haunted, though.
gonna, Chris, could you pass me the gaffer tape? Why? I just need to put the rest of the podcast studio back together.
Yeah. It's a cheap HDMI cable. Yeah. It just
Buy
wasn't in
cheap,
properly.
buy twice.
Actually, I bought 4.
He's only got one left, and that's broke as well.
So what's everyone else been consuming? I've consumed other things, but let's see what everyone else
Well,
is
it's
consuming.
funny you were saying about Archer and all the love to hate characters.
Yeah.
I've been really late to Peep Show. Really incredibly late. I've seen bits of it in the past and got these two really wind the fuck out of me.
There's some
but
really good bits.
I've
though.
watched a lot and it's
Yeah.
just incredible.
Are they
The dog
still
on the boat.
producing new episodes?
They've just finished. I think it's season 9. I've just finished watching. I think that was 2016.
I think that's the end.
That's-
I think,
I
they
think it looked
ended
like the end, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame because I've just suddenly got
Yeah.
into that and it's amazing.
The episode on the barge with the dog called Mummy is one of my favourite British comedy episodes of anything ever.
I watched.
So
Okay.
dark.
I've never really got into it, but sometimes I see clips on the internet, and I think it's quite funny.
It's worth
But I watched.
going with.
No, because the thing is, the mate who looks like
There's a man working
there's a
outside.
man soaring.
A body in half in
Sorry.
the garden next door.
Weirdly, the body's still in the coffin. That's why it sounds like he's sawing wood.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
so the matey who I always get him muddled up out of Mitchell and Webb, the one that looks like the penguin,
Right.
Mitchell.
Mm.
he's basically me.
The tall, skinny one, yeah?
No, the
That's actually really good for Chris.
the one that looks like a bloody the secret love child of Danny DeVito in Batman Returns.
Yeah.
He just reminds me of me sometimes, and I watched a clip this morning where they must have had a party, and he got up and he was like, "Oh, right, how am I going to get everyone out of my house? Look, we're not mates. Stop doing drugs. Just, I'm putting Radio 4 on. My girlfriend's coming over now. Just fuck off. Just fuck off. The world can't exist without an economy and commerce and stuff. And you're not going to get a hug from me until you just fuck off." And I was like, that was my whole entire life when I just used to live down the road, and I was like at least 5 years older than everybody else who lived in that house, sometimes 10 years older, and I was just like, look, it's Sunday, I've got to go to work tomorrow, just fuck off.
I don't think I've ever been in that situation, thankfully. Living with people that just piss you off.
It's all right, you just move out though.
You've always got that option. Just move on.
What else
Speaking
have-
of which, have you consumed anything else, Paul?
Oh, well, no. Twin Peaks, but everybody's doing that, and it's great.
I'll
And-
talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
We can have a conversation on my bit.
Fine, I'm going home.
Lots of Yellow Magic Orchestra.
Yellow Magic Orchestra.
Mm.
What's that then?
They're amazing. Japanese band.
Okay.
Yeah, from the 70s.
When you
And,
say, I see. So this
yeah.
is listening to.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
You're allowed to just consume things through your ears.
No, you're not.
Like this podcast. you definitely are. If Chris tells you can't listen to this podcast with your ears, then watch it with your eyes. Through headphones.
That reminds me, bad lip sync as well.
yeah.
I've been watching a few of them.
Bad lip reading.
I bet that's the one. I sent you
The
one, didn't I,
Game
Ross?
of Thrones one is amazing.
They are
What's
good,
it
aren't
called?
they?
Super Fun Time Medieval World or something?
Yeah,
I've not seen that one yet.
That's
You've
very
not seen
funny.
that one?
No.
Oh, God. Yeah, but then again, I think you might need to see some Game
That's
of
what I'm
Thrones to
thinking.
find it funny.
Yeah.
But it's bloody... I'll tell you what, I'm going to link that
You
that
don't
below.
need to have seen Game of Thrones to find it funny, because
No.
I think it's hilarious, and I've not watched enough Game of Thrones to understand half of what they're saying.
Fair enough. My mistake, we're not linking it below. We are putting all the links on our Facebook page. So if you want to go and see what we're talking about, go and find our Facebook page.
Basically, to anybody who cares, who's a little bit nerdy, we'll have our show notes will be on the podcast, and then there'll be an in-depth show notes with all the links, things we talk about on our Facebook
Are
page.
you eating cherries?
Yeah.
Always
Fucking hell. These are massive cherries. He's literally got like cherries from a fucking Disney movie. If you ate that, you'd have to fall asleep until a prince came along and kissed you.
They
They're
always
right.
They remind me of... cherries always remind me of the Witches of Eastwick.
So this whole scene reminds me of... Anybody watch Derek and Clive Get the Horn?
Yeah.
Yeah, what have you got there then?
Nom,
You
nom,
eating
nom.
figs? Yeah, I got some figs in it.
So
Ah,
we're eating
very
this,
nice.
and some fucking nutcase down the road's puking everyone out.
Yeah, they're seedless as well.
No, they're not.
Mine is. Oh, no, it isn't. There it is. Found it. Thought that might be one of my teeth.
What have you?
Yeah, I
Ross.
watched Life.
What's that?
It's bigger. Yeah, it's really good.
Is it the Venom film that's not about Venom?
Yes.
It was never a Venom movie.
Well, no, I know.
Ross is going to be hard for it because it's got his two favourite men in it.
Two of my two very good friends.
David,
Well, that's a
David
good thing.
Mitchell and
Yeah, the other one that looks
Rob
like the penguin.
Harris.
It's got
Yeah, that's them.
Jimmy Savile and Rolf Harris in it. No, it's got Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal in.
I might bleep those
Ah.
names out in post.
What, just so that they're beeped out? That'd be quite funny, that, actually. Leave all swearing in there. It's like, I just had to bleep two names out. Why? Because they're sex pests.
Just two of the main characters that feature in the dark web game, Sad Satan.
No.
Have you heard about that?
No.
I'm not going to go there, but anybody wants one. We can't post a link anywhere about that one because it's so fucked.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Amazing.
You'll find it on YouTube, though. Enjoy. Carry on. Life.
Yeah, Life is a science fiction movie featuring Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal
There you go.
and Rebecca Ferguson, and then I don't know the name of the other actors.
Is it good?
It's very
right,
good.
Yeah.
It's really
I
good.
enjoyed it. I thought it was underrated, actually. It didn't get like massively good critical acclaim, did it?
Does it seem like something that's been done before, but they've managed to not make it just seem the same as everything else?
Yeah, basically it's Alien
Yeah,
meets Gravity.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's really good
Meets
because there's two really good films.
Meets the
That
Abyss.
sounds like some really short films.
Yeah, bit of a sprinkling of Abyss on top.
Alien meets Gravity.
Oh dear.
Well,
So it's worth going to watch then.
Well, yeah, you don't really want to talk about it because there'll be huge spoilers, but it's
Good.
a horror movie, but a really good science fiction space horror movie.
And one of the very, very few, in fact, the only horror movie I've been able to get my other half to watch for about a year.
Oh.
She doesn't do horror, but I think she was sort of drawn in by the cast. And I
Cool.
just said, it's just a psychological horror. Don't worry about it. And it's pretty horrific. But
Cool.
she got through it.
There's some pretty fucked up bits in it.
Cool.
There are.
I want to see that now then.
It's very good.
And I somehow managed to make my girlfriend watch another film involving orbital mechanics, which she really liked.
Oh dear. Don't keep doing that. She will
I'm going to
leave
see
you.
how many movies I've made her watch involving orbital mechanics.
Cool.
What have you been consuming, Chris?
American Gods, of course, which
Still haven't-
continues
I
to be
still
very
need
good.
to watch more.
Okay. What have you seen so far?
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I really liked it, but I just haven't had the time in
Okay.
between everything else. So
Watch some more and
We,
listen to my American Godcast, which will help you through.
Do you know, I thought I watched episode 1 this week, but it was just a really weird dream I had that seemed really real.
To be honest, mate, that sounds exactly like episode 1
Yeah.
through to 8.
You're up to date with it, Ross, eh?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Have you felt the need to listen to the American Godcast?
No, because I don't listen to podcasts, do I? Imagine that though. Like, you're like, I'm watching this TV show, but a friend of mine is really into the book that the TV show is based on. So he wants me to listen to him talk about it for 30 minutes every week.
It might be enjoyable.
That means he's not actually listened to even one of the American Godcasts.
Why? How
because
long are
they're
they?
about-
He's like 4 hours. Each one's 4 hours.
They're about 5 minutes.
Really? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
all?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just a
I've
brief recap.
I've
on
avoided
them.
listening to them so far because I hadn't watched the episodes. So.
I think the longest one so far is
Yeah.
10 minutes. But yeah, it's just because that was an early one and it was lots of stuff to cram in there. Anyway, but yes, so that's on our podcast feed as well. If you want to go and have a listen to the American Godcast, if you're watching American Gods, please do. And also, Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
How bloody bizarre is season 3 of Twin Peaks?
It's fantastic.
It's
because it is a
absolutely-
direct carry-on, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah,
It is
Right.
a
I still haven't watched
continuation.
any of it yet. So
And
Do you mean any
no,
of it?
the new stuff.
new
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
go and watch it.
Brilliant.
And oh god,
It's so fucked. It could be the most fucked stuff he's ever done.
yeah. Well, actually, no. Lost Highway. That's pretty. Oh,
Is
they're
it?
connected apparently. You said before.
Yeah,
didn't you?
apparently so. But I
Don't know how yet.
I've
but
not seen Lost Highway yet, but I've seen Eraserhead, and I think it's on par with that.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'd
I'd probably put it more in the same box as like Mulholland Drive because it's accessible. It's not so offensively obscure.
There's a couple of
Gilly won't watch it.
I won't. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But that whole sequence where he's on that. I'm not spoiling anything. It's fucking mental. It's that bit where he's on some sort of a lookout tower or a boat, and it's space, but it's not.
What?
The flashing up of the numbers, the sequences and stuff. You've seen that one yet? The strobing.
Is that in episode?
That's about half an hour, 45 minutes of just strobing, and the video going backward and forward. So you're watching the same thing going over and over and over again.
No, see, what Paul's doing now is telling you about his dream, and he actually watched American Gods.
But yes, I think I'm about halfway through episode 6, I think. And there are 7 episodes out.
You must have seen it.
I think.
You must have
Maybe
seen
I
it.
have. Oh, in actual fact, I think I missed half of the last episode. I may have fallen asleep. Anyway, but it's very good.
It's bloody good.
Very
I
good.
can't say why. I'm not saying anything. It's just it's bonkers. That's why it is. I can't put my finger on why it's so good.
I'll tell you what's really struck me about it is the cameos. There's a massive amount of really big superstar cameos.
Do you know? I've not even noticed any.
Have
of
you
them.
not?
You've got Brad
I'm
Pitt being
just
a
rubbish
weatherman.
like that.
No.
That happened recently on Jim Jeffries' new show.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Interesting.
At this point, to me, like Twin
I
Peaks.
thought I'd had some
feels-
weirdness in there.
Thanks. Because it needed it.
Yeah.
At this point, to me, Twin Peaks. It's because I've never seen it. It just feels really pretentious. It's like freeform jazz or fucking modern art, isn't it? It's
I
like,
don't blame
well,
you.
actually, you don't really totally understand television until you've understood all of Twin Peaks.
I can understand why you'd say that. And in honesty, some of the cameo parts have made me think something along the same lines that is just bullshit. But it's compelling to watch. It really is.
Does it not have an obvious continuation of the story?
Not really, no.
It's about
No,
it's
not at
about
all.
Cooper trying to find his way back
to being Cooper, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So
Um,
it's nothing to do with...
No, it's all
the
sort of
mains.
all that's on hold. It's all
Oh, okay.
it's in the background somewhere,
Yeah,
but at the
yeah.
moment it's Cooper trying to get find himself.
Right.
sort
But
of thing,
unless
but-
you've seen the original 2 seasons 47 times since initial release on VHS, you will never truly know the meaning of the Twin Peaks.
With all of the Log Lady introductions.
That's what it feels like to me. It's
Like,
like,
yeah, weren't there? There's log lady
Yeah,
introductions.
they're right, yeah.
God, yeah.
You
On
know,
the special edition box sets, yeah.
you know, Empire just recently did their top 100 films of all time, and you could click on them and tell you how
I
many
did
you
it,
see.
yeah. And I ended
Chris
up with
ended up with like 95, and I had
Yeah.
like 94 because of fucking Mulholland Drive.
yeah, no, 99 you had, didn't you?
No, I was like 4 or 5 short.
Oh, I
Yeah.
should have
But
a go
then
at that
Mark Como's recently just published a list of like the 50 movies you absolutely must, that cinema defining movies, and I think I've seen 3.
Really?
Yeah, because
Wow.
fucking Mark Como.
He's a
brilliant.
bit. He's
Okay.
brilliant, but he's a bit pretentious as well.
I
Yeah, but
don't
he is a bit.
particularly like him or what he says about a lot of stuff, to be honest. I agree with him sometimes, and then other times I just want to slap him. He's so aggressively
Pretentious.
against and pretentious about film sometimes that it's just like, well, yeah, but that film isn't supposed to be groundbreaking cinema. That's just supposed to be a good, entertaining film. You can tell by the fact that it's called Toy Story. You know,
He fucking loves Toy Story.
yeah, just as an example of a name, I'm just choosing
His
that.
favourite film of all time's Mary Poppins, mate.
Anyway, Beauty and the Beast I saw this week as well, which was all right, actually.
Belle et la Bête.
Yes, that's the one. It's very good. What's her name, the girl?
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson has got a fantastic singing voice. and just generally, the whole thing was bloody well acted, and it looked very good. My only one criticism, I think, of it is that perhaps the furniture and stuff looks better as a cartoon, and it doesn't really work as a live-action movie. Other than that, very good for a
Cool.
for a Disney movie.
I've absolutely no opinion.
I will watch it because my girlfriend really wants to watch it.
Yeah, you should give it some time. It's all right.
What? Give it the, say perhaps the exact running time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, rather than just sit there looking at your phone and half watching it. I mean,
Yeah, I tend to do that. I tend to put my
I
phone
don't mean
face
you, Adam,
down.
who is
on a
sitting
flat
there
object.
looking at his phone right now. But anyway,
I'm doing the Empire thing.
Is he?
List thing. See how
okay.
many I've... Yeah.
That's topical. That's all right then. It's allowed.
It's allowed.
Right, let's do some bloody movie news, shall we?
This is the whole point of the podcast, or one of the points.
Bloody Watchmen. You like Watchmen, Ross, don't you?
Yeah.
Did you see there's a TV show coming?
Yeah, Damon Lindelof's writing it, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which-
forget that then. Well, when you say writing it, he's written like the first season, and he's like, nah, do what you like with it. I don't got a fucking clue, mate.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, there'll be a polar bear, and then they'll go to an alien planet, and that'll be shit as well.
No. But yeah, I know what you mean. I know a lot of people were really, really disappointed by Lost, and that was one of his big things. Was it his first thing?
No, it's probably just the first thing that everyone remembers him ruining.
No, he's on The Leftovers recently, and that's been pretty well received.
And a lot of people blame him for Prometheus, don't they?
Yeah, but wasn't he just one of the script writers? He wasn't like the main force of Prometheus, was he? So
Well, Ridley Scott was the main force of
Well,
Prometheus,
exactly.
and he just came along and went, see that script? I'm going to tear it up.
So I'm in two minds about it. I mean, it's HBO, and they do make some very good stuff.
It'll probably be brilliant then.
Well,
I didn't
fingers
realise
crossed.
it's HBO.
It is. So that's the only. The source material is good. They're the only two good things going for it.
Yeah, they'll just throw like $15 million an episode at it.
As
and
long
it'll
as
be
they don't-
brilliant.
As long as they don't try and go with all the weird bullshit prequel comic stuff that they did, which is just seems pointless. Anyway, good response. Speaking of Ridley Scott,
Where are you
How many
going?
films has he got coming out this year?
Rid-
47.
oh god, this is going to kill you. Ridley Scott is interested in expanding the Blade Runner franchise.
No.
like
Just
he
stop
has-
fucking with other people's intellectual property, Ridley Scott. We've had a conversation about this before. Mate, pack it in. No one wants you ruining everything, yeah? You ruined Neil Blomkamp's Aliens. You ruined your own Aliens. The only good movie you've made since Gladiator is The Martian. Now just sort it out. You ruined Hannibal Lecter, for fuck's sake.
When he was asked in an interview about how he would look at expanding the universe, he said, "Of course, there's always something. George Lucas, you know."
Oh,
the
yeah,
way-
he's always a good fucking benchmark, isn't he? Yeah.
Fucking
He
hell.
said, "George Lucas, you know, the
Yeah.
way he's handled Star Wars has been spectacular."
It's not.
Yeah, they're fucked. It's all fucked, mate.
And it's what I've been trying to really do to evolve Alien.
To be honest, George Lucas has handled Star Wars really well at the start when he made Star Wars, and at the end when he sold it to Disney.
I made a shitload of money from toys. That's well handled, in honesty. Other than that,
Yeah, but fuck that, because I can't buy a Boba Fett for less than like £79.
fair enough. So yeah, sticking with sci-fi. Is sci-fi in your
No.
box of no?
No, it's not in my
Your
system
pigeonholed
of
systematic.
sci-fi categories.
What about science fiction?
Yeah, that's in there.
Yeah.
That's for people with speech impediments that are trying to explain sci-fi to someone. That's a very specific type of sci-fi. There's not a lot of it out there.
No offense if you're listening and you've got a speech.
Do you?
No. Get a job in sci-fi if you've got a speech impediment. It makes for the most interesting long monologues about scientific equipment.
Cool.
Then you could go. They say things like "Banana, wheat, banana, minivan."
What?
Anyway,
Do it, Paul.
That's one for the Transformers YouTube community.
There you go. Transformers YouTube community.
I think I'll have to cut that out. But yeah,
Why?
isn't that mildly offensive? Anyway.
What?
No, no.
Banana, wheat, banana, wheat, name.
Oh right, I see. No, okay, I missed what you said. Okay, what's
no,
it
it's
from?
not at all. It's it's the universal
Some
greeting,
greeting,
isn't it?
yeah.
From Transformers.
Ah, banana,
Fucking
we
stupid.
no. Oh yeah,
Great.
when they're speaking to the
Mini-bong.
when they're speaking to the quad blokeies.
The
Is that the one?
Quintessons and the
Quintessons.
the Quintesson. I'm not even going to get into it. It's sort of the
No,
Quintessons. No, I'm not even going to.
Oh, the Juncticons. That's the one.
And yeah, Junticons and the Sharkticons from the Quintessons.
There's
isn't it? Lots of
500
sons.
films in this Empire list. This is taking
No,
ages.
it's not. It's not. That's the wrong list, then, mate.
That's the 500 films you shouldn't fucking bother with ever. You're on the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've already got to like 200, and I've watched like 99% of the 200.
See,
This
that's
is
where
not-
you've been going wrong.
Did you go to 500movieprankpodcast.com? Oh,
What
mate,
else
this
we
is
got?
we're so off topic. What are we talking about?
Right.
News.
Ninny Bottom.
As we went with what's his name, Ridley Scott, we should probably carry on with the theme. Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, has he been told that he can't make an Aliens movie because Ridley Scott's like, you
No,
can't
he's
do
made
that.
he's made a movie,
He's-
short one.
Yeah.
But he's made one. And
It's
it's brilliant.
The first Oates Studio movie has been released. It's
Yeah.
only 20 minutes long.
It's really good.
It's called Raka, and we'll we'll link
Bit
it
of-
on our Facebook page.
Bit of Gelf in there.
But it's very good. It's about a race of lizard types that take over the Earth, and they start putting up like these towers that spew out methane, and the human race just trying to like do something about this shit.
But no,
It's
that's not really going to change anything.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Well, that
very
sounds
good.
good. Is it
Wasn't
free?
David Icke talking
Free.
about that last
Free.
week?
Well, it's also V as well, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
V as a bird. It's on
Fucking hell.
it's on YouTube.
I'm sorry. Can I
That
just draw
was that
attention
even
to...
a dad joke?
Yeah, it was, but he
Was it-
tried to
was it?
sneak that in there. He's like, V as a bird. And then he's like, and he's grinning and fucking giggling to himself off mic. And he's like, they're not going to call me out on that one. It was so good. No,
Anyway, yeah, it's on YouTube. Go and have a little look. Bloody Daniel Day-Lewis has retired, isn't he, Ross?
he keeps doing that, doesn't he?
Why? What the hell?
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure his actual day job's like he's a cobbler or something.
Somebody else mentioned this on a podcast that I was listening to. Do you know anything about this, Paul?
Yeah, apparently, yeah, he's got some weird, obscure job that's just.
He
sort
just owns a
But,
shop that fucking makes
let's
really
face
nice
it, right?
shoes, doesn't it?
if you're a really in demand actor and really successful, what's the best thing to do, really? Say you're retiring, and it's going to take an awful lot to bring you out of retirement.
But he just does this every time, doesn't he? He just
Yeah,
goes,
back to the paycheck.
I'm just going to go back to...
Yeah, every time someone wants to get him in a film, if he said he's retired, it's going to cost more. People are just pay it, won't they? Because it's him. So every time he can just go off and have a bit of fun and relax, and then
He could get a job about. He could do a film
Yeah.
about a cobbler, and that way he could do his day job
yeah,
and his acting bit
at the same
but at
time,
the same time.
So he
making
does,
shoes on
quitting.
set to
Yeah, imagine
go and
that.
sell to people.
so he does actually make shoes.
Apparently so.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
it's
just
not just
assume...
some weird.
I can't even bother to Google it. It's funnier if we just pretend that he's a cobbler.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, he makes shoes now. I don't care what the reality is.
Well, he's retired from films anyway. So
Yeah,
he can
to
do
make
whatever he's
shoes. Are you going to get a pair?
or just a left one.
like. Oh, it's another joke.
See, that was a dad one, but it was all right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was alright.
Oh, it's up there.
Was it?
That's going in the book. It's going in the book. That
Right
one,
up there.
Christmas book.
Do you guys remember a cartoon from when we were kids called Rocco's Modern Life?
Yeah,
They're making a cartoon movie. Yeah.
good.
It could be all right.
With the entire original cast.
Oh, good then. That's good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah, that should be good.
It depends who's making it. I can't imagine
Nickelodeon, I
it's
think.
Pixar. So Nickelodeon, their track record with films of the kids' TV shows has been up and down.
Right.
So certain ones have been really
More
good.
up and down?
No,
Shit.
more down than up.
Oh dear. Oh well.
But yeah, it could be interesting. Like the Turtles one they did, the animated one with Patrick Stewart as the main bad guy and stuff. That was okay for the time.
Right.
And the first SpongeBob was really popular with kids. The second one, where it's all gone sort of live action-y, not so much. So
First
yeah.
SpongeBob movie, is that the one with I'm ready?
I don't know, I haven't seen it.
Have you not?
I just know that it's got David Hasselhoff. in.
Hasselhoff as a
Yeah.
speedboat. That's brilliant,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I don't know if I've seen it or not. Maybe I have. Anywho, Rick and Morty, sticking with animation. There was a bloody horrible... Oh, you've got a Rick and Morty t-shirt.
I have.
And it's a Rick and Morty Back to the Future t-shirt.
Because, you know, crossovers.
Yeah. So there was a horrible rumour kicking around that season 3 had been cancelled.
Because people are dicks.
Yeah, people are a bit too...
They don't understand that it takes ages to make these things, and that he was making it, and unlike other TV show makers, he wants everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
So
there was
he
loads
takes longer.
So loads of dickheads just basically online saying, oh yeah, that's taking such a long time because they're having creative differences and it's not going to be released now. What the hell? You probably wouldn't work this long on a project to not see it released, would you?
Well, no, not unless someone ripped it out from under you. But then he's got a lot more say in it.
They've got creative control, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I hear a rumour that there's a special announcement happening this Thursday, so if you're a Rick and Morty fan, keep your ears open for that.
And one of the episodes, there's a video out there of one of the episodes for the new series. They actually got the guy that does the voice of Rick and Morty.
Yep.
For one of the episodes, they needed Rick to be properly drunk. So they actually got him drunk before doing the voice recording, and they realised about 3 hours into trying to record the audio for that one episode, maybe getting him actually drunk was a really bad idea.
Okay.
But apparently, like, him trying to do the lines drunk has worked out perfectly for the episode. So I'm looking forward to seeing whichever episode that is.
We should do a drunk podcast.
Yeah, I'm up for that at some point.
There's a few people that actually tried that one. Yeah, there's a Transformers thing going on at the moment. A little while back. It's called 10 shots, 10 bots. I'm not kidding. And they just down a shot. Every time they review a robot, that's it. They down a shot. And by the end of it, it's fucking
They call
chaos.
themselves the Drunkions.
Yeah, that's the ones.
Cool.
Pet Shop Boys tried it as well.
Yeah.
Unrelated thing,
Yeah.
but their first album, Neil Tennant was too shit scared to do the vocals. He just got absolutely fucking plastered.
Really?
To do the first album, yeah, and it was dreadful. And then after he'd done that and had the hangover, he said, "Fuck it, let's do it properly."
Right.
So there you go. There's a little bit of trivia. Anyway,
Cool.
what else is in the news? It's
One thing that's not in the news, but we probably want to find out. I'm not entirely sure Daniel Day-Lewis is a cobbler. I don't know where.
No,
that
he
came
is.
from.
From now on, he is.
All right, Daniel Day-Lewis is a cobbler.
It's official.
At least that's the title to the
Breaking
episode.
news.
What was he meant to do then? What's his other thing then?
He's what did he say?
Is
He
it a
said something
carpenter or
like
something
his
stupid like that?
profession is keeping out of the media's eye.
His
There is
profession
someone who's-
is keeping out of the media's eye.
That's pretentious as fuck, isn't it?
No, it's not. He's like super like it's a full-time profession to him. Is like not having his personal life.
My
Well,
job is
yeah.
don't look at me. Don't. Please don't pay me any attention. I'm over here. Don't look.
He does a bloody good job of that, though, to be fair, then, doesn't he? For
It's 'cause
somebody
he lives
who's...
in the arse end of
No,
nowhere. In
no.
Ireland,
That amount of
doesn't
money,
he?
it's quite
The thing-
easy.
the
Just
thing
don't
is,
fucking
though,
leave the house.
The thing is, I think that's all utter horseshit because I can't remember. There was one guy. He was in a massive rock band. I can never remember his name. AC/DC guy. He was in AC/DC, and he said it's bullshit when people say that they have to work hard to stay out of the media and the eye of the public, and then other people saying that they just can't get away from the press. He said that you just choose to be seen by the press or not. If you want the press to know where you are and you want the paparazzi to come and take photos of you on the beach, you leak where you're going to be to whoever through the people that work for you. He was like, if you don't want them to know where you are and what you're doing, he goes, it's as easy as just walking down the street and people, like, even if you're massively famous, he's walked down the street with other famous people and no one's noticed him.
Mm.
You know, really majorly obvious people, and they've walked down the street and no one realises it's them. He said it's that people just... I can't think what the interview was, but it was so interesting listening to talk about it, because he said every single time there's some bullshit thing about, so-and-so's hit so-and-so, or so-and-so's getting divorced, they've leaked it themselves, pretty much. It's
Right.
just put out there to keep them in the public eye, to keep the public thinking about them. So, yeah, I don't think that Daniel Day-Lewis saying it's a full-time job, then he's doing something very wrong.
It's
Or
a
he's
real-
like doing really nasty shit and needs to be working hard to hide it.
It sounds like a bit of a chase me sort of comment to me.
Maybe he's making shoes out of human skin.
Do you know that's legal? I was watching something about that.
Oh, my God.
It is. There's a
That's
company
why
out
he's-
there that
that's-
you can donate your skin to. Seriously, and they make human leather out of it. But you're looking at, I think it's £20,000 per pair of shoes.
Wow.
But maybe that is his company. I don't
Worth every penny.
know. Oh, they look rank.
Definitely don't come to this podcast to listen to any actual facts that are verified and ratified, because we'll tell you Daniel Day-Lewis is a cobbler who makes human leather skin shoes, and they're about 20 grand a pair.
That's what he does. When you make them, you don't need to act. No. What else we got?
Right. What was this bloody Jackie Chan movie you were talking about there, Adam?
Oh, fuck.
British-made serious action film involving Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan. It looks like from the trailer.
There's a trailer.
Yeah, there is
Ooh.
a trailer.
We'll find a link.
Jackie Chan is over here with his daughter for some reason.
When you say over here, you mean that's not the name
Britain.
of his character. He's in Great Britain.
Yeah, as in he's over here in Great Britain. Yeah. No, it's not his character name. Over here. It's not that.
That's probably a little bit racist.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not that.
Non-specific racist,
yeah.
though, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's over here in Britain as a character doing. I don't know if he's on holiday or what it is. I don't know what the storyline is, but from the trailer, there's a massive explosion. His daughter is killed, so he goes to the police and basically goes, "Give me the name of the bombers." And the police are like, "We can't really do that. That's not how things work here." So he then goes to Pierce Brosnan's character, who works in government, and basically just hounds him for the names, and then realises that he might be involved. And it looks more like the old late 80s, early 90s Jackie Chan police story films that were a lot less sort of the Charlie Chaplin-esque end of his films, and far more grittier and serious.
Cool.
I can't remember who
Tale.
it's made by. I think it's been directed by someone quite well known for
So well
decent
known.
British.
Adam didn't know his
I
name.
can't remember the name. I'm useless at that stuff most of the time, especially when it's hot. But
It's
yeah,
not
like
that
someone that's quite well known for sort of drama and police stories over here. So it'd be interesting to see the mix of how that turns out. It looks really good. The trailer looks really, really good. I'm quite excited for it. It's been a long time since he hasn't done something with someone like Johnny Knoxville or Chris Rock or
So
Some other arsehole.
yeah.
So it's called The Foreigner. It's
Yeah.
out on general release in
October the 17th, I think.
That would be my birthday. October the 13th. It's out.
13th, sorry.
I can see why you've got the 17th in your head, though.
Yeah. Good friend, eh? Good friend.
So yeah, The Foreigner is out on 13th of October 2017, and it is being directed by Martin Campbell, who also
did-
makes Meatballs, right? No?
Isn't his factory next door to Daniel Day-Lewis's shoe shop?
Probably
What?
should
So
be.
they make the meatballs out of human meat, and then the skin goes next door to Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis's
Human leather cobbler shop.
Very
20
handy.
grand.
Buffalo
20 grand a pair.
Buffalo Bill Boots and Co.
A very handy byproduct.
Yeah, yeah.
So what else has he made?
He directed Casino Royale,
That's the one.
GoldenEye,
Yeah.
The Mask of Zorro,
Yeah.
and The Green Lantern. Wow.
Hey, they're all good movies. There's not a bad movie in that list you just read out then.
Really?
No.
Is The Mask of Zorro all right?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
all right.
Yeah. It's not the greatest film ever.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
You only like Green Lantern because of the titular main man, don't you?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah, Green Lantern wasn't a great film, but it wasn't
It's good.
wasn't awful.
It's a good Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Hey, I've
part,
got it on
yeah.
Blu-ray. Do you know the best thing about the Blu-ray?
It was better than Daredevil with
Is it
Ben
green?
Affleck.
Yeah, the Blu-ray's green and not blue.
Wow.
Amazing.
Little things.
That's the third shop in a row. That.
That's what third shop
Yeah,
in a row.
That's where yeah.
It's like,
So you've got the Meatball Factory and Daniel Day-Lewis's Buffalo Bill shop, and then
And
the
the
offcuts,
little things.
the little things go to
ugh.
yeah.
Is it an awful shop?
You sort of make little coin purses,
Do you know what? They just use fingers and tiny
You
dicks to make like those
coin purses
to
and
make
shit
like
like that.
those little chicken pan gangs.
Yeah, that's the one.
You didn't respond to awful shop. Oh well. doesn't matter.
Awful shop.
Is it an awful shop?
Oh, see, that was
You're trying too
No,
hard now,
awful,
Chris.
Adam. Awful. Anyway. All right.
It's like one every 5 minutes at the moment.
World War Z 2. Paramount have confirmed that David Fincher and Brad Pitt are on board. Boom. Is this good?
I hope so. I didn't mind the first one. It's
Yeah,
got
that's-
mixed reviews. I know
It's not
that.
very good, is it?
I think it's okay.
I think it's better than it could have been.
It's not very good though, is it?
They kind of refilmed or actually filmed a whole second half of the movie for it, didn't they? Because the whole thing with the British, like, disease control centre wasn't in the original script at all.
It's
So
not very
they
good though, is it?
filmed all of that and stuck it on the end of the movie. And
The
boom.
That
thing
does make
I'll
sense
say-
because it does feel like a separate
Yeah,
film,
yeah.
doesn't it? A bit.
But it's not very good though, is it?
I enjoyed it.
was
I'll
alright.
say that the only reason they did the second half of the film is so they could hint to the fact that the new Doctor Who was going to be Peter Capaldi by having him in the World Health Organization. So it was just him stood near a big sign saying "Who."
Really?
That's my reasoning for the
I've
second.
not seen that.
That's
Brilliant.
my reasoning
Brilliant.
for the second half of the film being a very different style to the first.
Cool. The thing is, though, it's not very good, though.
It's okay for a big budget, for like a massive budget zombie film. It's probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, but there's a big flaw in your statement there because it's not very good.
Yeah, but it's not awful.
Why do you
It's
think
just
it's
not very good,
Why do you
though,
think
is
it's
it?
not very good, Ross?
It's about 8 movies super glued together, isn't it?
Whereas 2.
Most zombie
Definitely
films
2.
are nowadays, though. Most
Yeah,
zombie
it's-
films are just loads of other zombie films stuck together. Or you add Nazis in the mountains in, or you add dinosaurs in, or fish or beavers or whatever it is you want to add in to make the zombies more interesting.
It came out at a time when there was an awful lot of zombie films, and it was all the same sort. But it was about the only one that actually had any pace.
It was totally
Well,
different.
because the zombies were fast.
Yeah.
Is that why it had pace?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Paul, the problem is it's not very good, though, is it?
It was all right.
It's not very good, though.
It was okay.
Just somebody say it's not very good, and then I'll
You're
stop
saying it. I'm saying it's okay.
I said it's not awful.
Yeah,
I'm saying you're entitled to your opinion.
you're wrong. It's not very good. It's not a good film.
I know
It's
at least
not
one
like
other person that listens to this podcast that will disagree with you. If you agree with me or Adam or anyone else, if you agree with the 75% of this room, then let us know.
Look, go and watch
If you
Dawn of the Dead remake and go.
I don't
"That's-
like that.
That's a good zombie film.
No,
with
it's
fast
not.
Zombies
It's not
in.
good.
No, it's not.
28 Days Later. They're
That's
not
good.
really zombies, but they're fast.
That's very good.
The remake of Dawn of the Dead and World War Z are on the same level for me. They're enjoyable entertainment, but neither of them are
Jeez,
good
28
films.
Weeks Later is better than World War Z.
I don't even, I like 28 Days Later. I got a bit stupid after that.
I quite like 28 Weeks Later as well.
It was okay, but wasn't like,
I've not touched it.
Danny Boyle,
Yeah.
if you're listening, we need the third part, please.
what, 28 months later
Yeah.
and then 28 years
If
later.
you'd
And
hurry
then
up, please. That'd be
28
great.
decades
Thank you.
later.
That's it.
Right.
Just breaking news quickly. I've just done the Empire thing. If it wasn't for fucking La La Land and Arrival being on the list because they're newer films I haven't had a chance to see, and then fucking Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
I would have seen more than 93 of the 100 greatest movies.
Breaking news.
Breaking
Yeah,
news.
Yeah,
Did you get Eddie Murphy doing a little
I did. Yeah, Eddie
little-
Murphy giving me an
an
okay symbol.
arsehole.
Little
Jerk
ring
off.
hole.
an arsehole symbol in Mexico, I think, isn't it?
No, that's if you use your middle finger. If
Is
you
it?
use your index finger, it's okay. If
Really?
you use your middle finger, it's
So you can
bumhole.
switch between the two. And go, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
arsehole.
Okay, arsehole.
You always
Okay.
use the middle finger, don't you, for that?
Well, I thought so, but some
What, for
people
the arsehole?
Yeah.
some people like a challenge of twisting the hand in at a weird angle.
Yeah.
Speaking of arseholes,
Thing is, though, it's not very good, though, is it?
I like that.
brilliant. Right, bloody, I'll tell you what else isn't very good. Saw. Surely you guys
Yeah,
must
I've-
dislike
I've-
the Saw movies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
The first one was interesting because I hadn't seen any mainstream cinema film do anything like that before.
Right, spoilers for Saw.
And then
Yes.
after that, it was just, how the fuck are you dragging this out? How do you keep making more films?
I liked it when the baddie got up at the end and he was in the room all alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Saw 1's quite good.
Yeah. And then after that, it's just mental, like, torture porn.
Then I watched
basically.
Saw 2 in the cinema and I sat in the front row.
They've all got clever
You
little
know when
twists
you-
like that, though.
Have you ever sat in the front row of the cinema?
Do you mean the really front row?
Yeah,
one-
the fucking you know the
Under the screen.
5 rows in the cinema that just shouldn't be there.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not even like they're not even stepped, are they? They just have these 5 rows at the front and they lean back. Yeah.
Did you sit there by choice?
No, yeah, it was the cinema was rammed and I was
Wow.
with other people, and
I would
it
have sat on the
was like
steps.
it
Fuck
was
that.
like watching a tennis match because when there was exposition and 2 people talking, you're like, okay, we're
Gotta
looking
look
over
over
to the
there.
right now. Now I've got to look over to the left, and it was fucking awful. And it's really not a very good movie. And then the woman jumps in all the heroin needles, and I'm just like, no, that's it. I'm done with these.
Yeah.
Ruined by people making me sit in the front row.
And it was her, wasn't it? All along.
Was it?
It
Oh
was,
yeah,
wasn't
she's
it?
in.
Don't know. I gave up after like 15 minutes into the second one. I just
She's
went,
his,
this
like-
is just
She's
shite.
this little weird disciple thing.
And
Yeah.
Donnie Wahlberg's the cop, isn't he?
Don't know.
Yeah, he's. I
They've
think
all got those
it's
good
one of the
little.
Wahlbergs, mate. The one that's in Band of Brothers.
Okay, they've all got those weird little, like, quite good twists at the end, though, haven't they? They've all got.
Yeah, but you
don't
could
see
say
them
that about
coming.
M. Night Shyamalan.
No, they're better than that.
Yeah, but are they? Is it just torture porn and then they go, surprise, it wasn't the person that
Yeah.
we made you think it was all the way through?
Okay, so if you're going to the cinema specifically for a horror movie, you get what you pay for.
Do you know the
I
twist?
don't
in
know, though, because that's not horror, that's just gore. Like, there's a difference between actual horror and tension building in a film and then just, we're going to make someone slice their own finger off to be able to get a padlock to undo their penis that's inside a box that's going to crush it. That's not horror, that's just gore and for the sake of annoying people and upsetting people.
It's just reminding me of Hostel 1 and 2. I've seen both of those. They're bad as
They're
well.
the same. I
aren't they?
can't watch them.
The Hostel
Wolf
1
Creek is even worse.
Hostel 1, the thing that got me about that the most was the first third of the film is like Americans in Europe going on a road trip. The second third of the film is basically Saw.
Second, third.
And then the
Yeah,
third
okay.
third of the film is like an American action escape film involving a blowtorch. And it's just like, I don't understand what this film is. And there's no storyline. There's literally, all it is I'm dancing, I'm drunk, now I'm being tortured, now I'm getting away. There's nothing to it. It's awful.
I haven't seen it.
I wouldn't bother.
In other news,
won't.
a lot of horror movies aren't very good. It's one of those genres where you have to, like, there's so much shit you have to sift through to get
The
to
one
the gem.
recently...
The gems are absolute gems. We talked about this on an old podcast.
The one recently with the blind guy.
Yeah.
Really,
Don't Breathe.
really surprisingly good. Really
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good.
Excuse me.
If you haven't seen Don't Breathe, go and watch it
Right,
now.
we need to get move on. It's 20 to 7.
Yeah.
Cool.
We've got another podcast to record.
So Sod Saw. Baby Driver, though.
You've
seen-
spoken about this before. What is it?
It's got some bloody good reviews. Baby Driver's the one about the guy. I'm not sure if he's got some sort of a hearing problem or something, but he's a getaway driver.
Needs.
Oh, yes.
He's very
Yeah,
young.
yeah.
And he listens to music while he's driving. And he's a super slick driver. It's got a really good cast. And
Is this the shooty 70s?
it's the Edgar
got
Wright
really
movie.
good
Edgar
trailer,
Wright movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Edgar Wright. It's just got him all over it. It looks like it's humorous. It's action-packed. It's very cool.
Rad.
Massive, great, big, very good reviews. Yes. Maybe you want to go and watch.
Mega.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. And it's Edgar Wright. I'm always up for a bit of Edgar Wright.
Yeah. So, speaking of Edgar Wright, the Han Solo movie lost its directors, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is weird. I heard like Kathleen Kennedy and Lawrence Kasdan were on set, and they looked at the dailies.
Yep.
And they went, "It's not very Star Wars.
It's not really what we want.
And they didn't budge.
Yeah.
And so they sacked them.
Mm.
So they were getting the cast to do all this sort of 20 takes and we'll choose which one's funniest thing.
Which is not Star Wars.
It's not
is
Star
it?
Wars at all. And
That's like Ghostbusters 2016. That was the problem with that.
do you think?
50 takes. We'll choose the funniest bit, and then that took away from the storyline. Now, if you do that with Star Wars is such a, the stories is kind of set ideas, so you can't just
Tonally as well.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
well, solid tonally.
Do you know
Okay.
if they were really ballsy enough, they'd just pull the plug on this movie?
Yeah, I don't
Disney.
think people need
No,
it.
we don't want it. Nobody
No.
wants it.
I don't need to know about Han Solo and his grandma wars. That was in the extended universe books, and it was rubbish then.
They're not canon anymore.
Was that Grand Solo?
Fuck's sake?
Chris, seriously, I'm fucking going to edit the podcast.
He's
actually.
going
Cut
for
me
it.
out.
He's going for it this week. That's like number
At
15
least
of the
this
dad
podcast
jokes.
will be about 45 minutes long once it cuts out all this shit.
Well, they've got someone else though, haven't they? They've announced a director
Yeah.
that's taken over.
What's his name? Richie Cunningham. What's his
Ron
name?
Howard.
Ron Howard. That's the one.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazingly, how he was introduced when I heard the news on the radio yesterday.
what, Richie Cunningham?
Yeah, they went, the guy from Happy Days.
Brilliant.
And it's like, surely by now he's not just the guy from Happy Days
Surely
anymore.
he's like Oscar-winning
Exactly.
director Ron Howard at this point.
Give the guy his kudos, surely.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, okay. So he has basically said that he's going to come and take over and
Fix it.
well, yeah. But apparently he says because they're really close to finishing their principal photography. They've got 3 weeks of principal photography, and 5 weeks scheduled for reshoots. So he reckons he's got most of what he needs.
I think probably this is just pure speculation, but I assume one of the first things he'll do is just sit down and put a cut of it together.
Yeah.
And then decide
whether they need to do reshoots or
and
not.
then use his
for
5
a
weeks.
week, and then go, do I need to make a movie out of this?
The reason I mentioned Edgar Wright or segued using Edgar Wright's name is because he obviously did Ant-Man, didn't he? And wrote and was going to direct Ant-Man.
Yeah, and then
for
fell out.
Disney. And
But he walked away, didn't he?
Yeah,
He
same
wasn't
thing
pushed.
though.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he said it was. They'd said it wasn't following the style, or wasn't quite what they wanted, and he wasn't willing to budge, so he ended up
The
leaving.
Marvel ethos.
He says in an interview that the most diplomatic answer he could give was that Marvel wanted a Marvel movie and not an Edgar Wright movie.
Which
So
is
it's fair enough
yeah.
if you've got something that works.
But then I think they learnt from that, because then when they'd given James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy, and they've then let him have creative control over the second, and I think they will probably kick themselves further down the line for not getting Edgar Wright in.
Well, you say
And
that. They
keeping
haven't done
him
it
in.
with Star Wars, have they?
What?
They haven't done that with Star Wars. They've done literally the opposite. What you
No,
just said
but I
there.
think that's different with Star Wars. I think with the funny character of Ant-Man and stuff, I think it was successful, but it wasn't as successful as I think it would have been if Edgar Wright had been more involved. I think they've kind of not it's not going to make any difference how much money they make or anything.
Mm.
They're still going to make massive amounts of money, but it's a shame, and I think certain people will feel a bit stupid for sort of arguing with him so much.
I think it'd be interesting to see the Edgar Wright Ant-Man movie, and I'd really like to see Lord and Miller, is that their names?
Yeah.
I'd like to see their Han Solo movie as well, in honesty, just
I
to
just
see what
don't,
it's
I'm
like.
not too fussed about Han Solo movie.
I genuinely, unless the reviews for this are amazing, I just don't care. I might genuinely could go as far as saying I might not even see this at the cinema.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's big for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my brother works at the cinema. I don't even have to pay to go.
Because
You
the
came
thing,
in trouble.
the thing for me is I liked Force Awakens, I liked Rogue One, but I don't want every film in between the numbered ones to be the history of a past character. At least Rogue One was like past story. I'd rather see
For long.
characters to one side, like that we've seen briefly or we've never heard of, but are intrinsic to a certain part of the storyline, like Shadows of the Empire. Like,
Dash Render.
yeah, who's he? Why not? You know, they could do a film about that character without actually doing the bits that link up. I don't know.
I'm going to talk about that, I think, in our other podcast.
Oh.
Here's something funny that you might not know about that story, is it's the guy that was playing Han Solo that's kind of like contacted Disney and said, I don't think this is right.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So
Little fucking Judas.
so you can imagine, right, if you're on
just
set,
stick
who's
this
the opposite?
nail in your rib.
Yeah.
Who's playing Lando Calrissian?
Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Donald.
Donald Glover.
Donald.
You always do that.
I know, and it's casually a bit racist as well, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of age difference.
There is. But, so, you know, he's used to being in comedies, isn't he? So if they're asking him to do 20 takes, he's probably doing 20 very good, funny takes.
Mm.
And then you've got some guy who's just used to being a serious actor. And, you know, if you're not used to doing comedy and you're being forced to do 20 takes and they're picking them, is that not going to make you feel a bit uneasy?
Well, yeah.
I just want to do the script and go home.
And also,
You know.
again, going back to Ghostbusters 2016, those women are used to doing comedy like that,
Yeah.
and it didn't work. So, what's the point in getting an actor who's not used to it to do it? It's probably going to have a negative effect. It's probably going to end up with some really awkward-looking takes that you can't use.
Yep.
And then awkward acting that you can't use. So Ron Howard's going to end up having to refilm stuff to get things to look right. I don't know.
Fair enough. Right. Everybody's talking about that, so that'll do about bloody Han Solo. I prefer a Grand Solo movie. Just saying. Right. Speaking of which.
Martha Solo.
Speaking of which, Martha Solo. Downton Abbey is getting a movie, isn't it?
I don't know why.
let's whiz through these because these are all stuff. This is all stuff you won't care about. So Downton Abbey is getting a movie. That's cool.
Next.
Pitch Perfect 3.
Next.
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be good, could be bad.
Yeah,
Don't
but
know.
I've seen the picture. He's in those horrible uniforms from Enterprise, aren't they?
Yeah, but that's
Next.
all right. That's valid.
But they've been talking about how it's been a troubled making.
Yeah, true.
So
We will see.
yeah.
It's got quite a good time slot. I think
Yeah.
it's just after a football match or something where it's being aired in America.
Yeah, because all of the footballers are going to watch it, aren't they?
Well,
And hang on, it's not broadcasted on TV, is it?
No.
It's
I
only
think
on their
it's being
subscription service only.
on
isn't it?
CBS.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
but
be
I
on
thought they were
TV.
doing it on their. I thought the whole point was it was only on their version of Netflix.
No, it's going to be on a channel as well.
So it's on the CBS channel. The preview is being broadcast on the CBS channel, and then the 2 episodes, because it's a 2-part episode jobby that they were doing, will be immediately available on their subscription service on September 24th, 2017. So expect it on Pirate Bay by midnight on that day, I expect. Well,
just the casual get
That's all right.
online.
oh yeah, it's going to be on Netflix as well, isn't it? Probably be a couple of weeks later or something.
Yeah.
But hey, a chid family, what? A child-friendly Fantastic Four reboot.
Fuck off. That's all I have to say about that. They've tried
Okay.
twice. They should just give it back to Marvel.
Fair enough. And Daredevil and Defenders figures. You might appreciate that one, Paul.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hasbro.
Have got a new line of figures.
It's all can be hit and miss, can't it? If they go down the same line they've done with the new Star Wars figures, then they should be great. If they go down,
If they go
another
down
line,
what they've done with the recent
Transformers.
Marvel ones.
Marvel. Oh right, yeah.
I've got a Deadpool one, which is from a recent wave, and it's so badly made
Oh, they'll probably do that then.
that I've had
Great.
to
Good one, Hasbro.
argue with Forbidden Planet that the elbow is so badly made. I want a new copy or my money back.
Oh, I
So,
won't
yeah.
hold my breath then.
They look good though. They do look good.
Cool.
So.
New Game of Thrones trailer, Ross.
Yeah, fuck me, that looks good, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Saw that on my lunch break actually.
Did you guys don't watch Game of Thrones though, right?
No, the trailer looked like the same stuff is happening last time I watched it 4 series ago. But everyone's got haircuts or
You should really invest your time and go and watch it. It's very good. It's very, very good. So yeah, nice shot of what's his name? Beric Dondarrius there.
Oh, what with his flaming sword of Thundera? Yeah,
And just holds it up and into flames.
yeah.
Another
mate.
shot of the dragon Drogon looking huge.
I was gonna say, was there a dragon?
Was there a
big flabby dragon?
Look, it's a very good television show.
Yeah, but was there a dragon?
There are 3 of them actually.
I don't agree with the dragons.
Why not?
they should put them all down.
No, I've no problem with it at all. It's just I've heard people saying it was great in the first series, and then there's dragons, and so I'm sort of,
People get all gushy and frothy over it, and it doesn't make me feel gushy or frothy. It's
the
okay.
fantasy's like
Do
the
you know what I mean?
least
It's
good bit
okay.
about it.
Yeah, the politics and everything.
The
and all yeah.
Machiavellian.
That's what I liked about Galactica. It wasn't just that it was in space and sci-fi. It was the politics and the religious aspects and the
massive interconnectedness of all
yeah,
things.
of all the people.
That's a really good example. Game of
Yeah.
Thrones is about as much fantasy as
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica
It's
is
sci-fi.
sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have.
I'm
the
not.
bits
No,
with
I'm
the
not.
dragons, but
I'm
I
certainly
just
not
can't.
knocking it.
No.
I'm sure it's really good. For what I've seen so far, it is brilliant. But
I can't.
I'm
be
so
bothered.
far out of the loop at the minute. I've just got so much catching up to do.
Sophia Coppola isn't doing the Little Mermaid anymore.
Oh,
Okay.
That's all right, isn't it?
yeah.
Next.
I think I quite like the idea of that.
I'll sleep.
Poster news.
Oh, no.
Hey!
There's a Jurassic World 2 official title and poster been revealed.
Extinction.
What font is it?
It's-
Africa. That's the closest one you can get without actually having to pay for the Jurassic Park.
Is
font.
it Africa?
Yeah,
Okay.
Africa.
Is there a font called Africa
Yeah.
and not just a deodorant?
No, that's not called that anymore anyway.
Isn't it?
No, they call it something else now.
Java.
Yeah. Java.
Anyway, it's called Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh, I saw something with extinction written on. Maybe that was like a pre-poster poster.
maybe. But yeah, that's very exciting. Looks very much like the old logo,
But
to
in
be honest.
blue.
in kind of a silvery kind of grey. Yeah.
Silvery greys and blues instead of reds and yellows and
Yeah.
greens.
There we are. And Spider-Man, Carnage Ross
Yeah.
Yes.
is going to be in the Venom movie, which may or
It
may
just-
not be a bad
It
thing.
just seems like they're trying to fit too much into one film again.
It's the
I always forget his name as well because I want to go Cassius Clay, but that's
No, it's
Muhammad Ali in it, and then it's like something like Cletus or something, which is
Cletus
the mate
Gargan. No, not Cletus.
it's like the name of the
Gargan.
guy from
His surname's Gargan, isn't it?
Clitoris
Simpsons.
Clay Gargan. No.
Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, Cassidy. Yeah, Gargan's the other Venom. Yeah, I'm thinking Venom then, not Carnage.
But yeah,
so confusing.
so I don't know if this is a good thing or not, because, origin movies, characters with mirror-matched arch enemies, I don't know.
I just think they're trying to fit too much in one film.
To
They
be
just need
honest-
to do a Venom film first without just chucking Carnage in for the hell of having it in there.
The Venom movie could be a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Like, do the proper origin story. That'd be
Yeah,
a really good
But
way of doing
do
it.
it well.
It's basically like doing. So basically, a bit like Batman just being at the start of Suicide Squad, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
also it'd be a bit like Metal Gear Solid 2.
What happens at the start of Metal Gear Solid 2?
You're just Snake for like the first 2 hours, and you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yes, and then the film and the game just goes. Kojima just goes, nah, you're not being him for the rest of the game. He's just a bit part.
Ah.
So
Anyway,
yeah, you could start off with Tom Holland and
Tom Hardy.
finding this symbiote, and and then just go, and then
I
he just
think-
disappears out of the movie. Like
I think they need to go
40 minutes in.
totally different direction and just have that Tony Stark's built some suit and
Tony Stark doesn't build suits.
Tom
does he?
Holland's worn it.
God.
however,
Tom Holland's worn it, and then the suit's he's taken the suit off Spider-Man during the Spider-Man film, because we've seen that in the trailer.
Yep.
Gives him a different suit afterwards. That one goes to one of his military bases, because he works for the government now, as we found out in Civil War.
Yep.
And while the suit's in the military base, they find something on the moon or in space on an asteroid, put it in their military base, it gets out, it touches the suit and bonds with the suit, and then Tom Hardy, because he's too old to play a teenager, is a guy working on the military base. He's angry about something, ends up
Tom Hardy.
putting the suit on,
That's-
and then gets taken
That's
over.
perfect, because Day-Lewis can come back out of retirement and he can do the shoes for the suit.
Yep, there you go.
amazing.
Sorted.
Problem solved. Except for the fact that they're not now going to be connected to the Marvel Universe.
That's what I thought they'd said originally, that
They
they weren't
did.
going to be, which was like, well,
So
how
they-
are you going to do it then? Because Spider-Man is.
So they said that they weren't going. No, Marvel said that they weren't going to be connected, and then somebody like a head of Sony said, "Oh yeah, they are. They're going to be connected."
And Kevin Feige
then
in the background
it's
looked
gone,
like
"Oh,
he'd
no."
shat himself
Yeah.
because she was speaking out of turn.
And he's now gone to press and said, "No, just to reassure
Yeah.
everyone, we're not letting Sony play in our sandpit."
To be honest, like Sony lost something ridiculous, like 1 point something billion last year. Like
Right.
they made huge fucking losses,
Shit.
down to some major films doing far worse than they expected and not making any money on a lot of the merchandise they put out there via other companies. So it wouldn't surprise me if at some point soon they either have to sell off certain properties back to companies like Marvel, or that they just shut down certain departments and just go, sod these films.
Well, they're gonna give back Spider-Man before they stop making TVs or have to sell off PlayStation, aren't
Well,
they?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, they are planning a Mysterio and Kraven spin-off. So I don't know if that'll be the same characters in one movie, but
I just want them to be in a Spider-Man movie. I don't know
Well-
why they're just doing a spin-off, because if it can't then be connected, because Marvel are connected with the Spider-Man films, then
Do you know what? I'd really like to have a conversation every now and then about cool things without it being a fucking spin-off.
yeah.
yeah, fair enough.
Everything's a spin-off.
The kind of main thing is that they're building up to Sinister Six, but you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
it will happen at some point. Oh, yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming 2 is going to feature initially the report was a different Marvel Studios superhero, but according to Kevin Feige, it's going to be more like Civil War 2. So
Right.
that means kind of
Loads.
teams of superheroes, which is cool. I liked Civil War. It was very well handled.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a bit
That's
of
about
news.
it.
Ross has got a bit of news. Go on.
Some breaking news. The little pocket Nintendo that's really expensive.
What?
No, sorry. Let me rephrase that. I'm not talking about every DS or every the tiny little Nintendo Entertainment System they made.
Yeah.
You know,
That had
out the
30
Super
games
Nintendo.
on, didn't it? Like 30 built-in
They're
games.
bringing out the SNES
Yep.
or Super Nintendo or
Yep.
Super NES.
Yep.
It's got a date,
Cool.
Oh.
29th of September, and it's got some fucking cracking games on it. It has got
Oh, Ross's
so
list.
far announced Star Fox 2, which has never been released.
Shit, there's
cool.
a good one there.
So that's I think it was completely finished ROM, and there's finished versions of the ROM out there, but that's coming out. Contra 3,
Cool.
Donkey Kong Country's alright. Earthbound, it's brilliant. Final Fantasy 3, which I'm assuming they mean Final Fantasy 6. No, don't get
Who knows?
don't get me started. Final Fantasy didn't come out in the same.
We
all
don't
of the
care.
Final Fantasies didn't come out in America, so Final Fantasy 3 means Final Fantasy 6,
Yeah.
probably,
That's fine.
which is the best Final Fantasy as far as I'm concerned.
Cool.
F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby Dream Course, probably the best game, one of the best games ever made of all time ever. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past,
Cool.
Mega Man X,
Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Secret Mana, Star Fox 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Fighting, Castlevania 4, amazing, Mario Kart, amazing, Super Mario RPG, which is amazing as well, Super Mario World, unbelievable, Super Metroid, unbelievable, Super Punch-Out, brilliant, and Yoshi's Island.
Wow.
That's
that
actually
Will
really
be
good.
worth every penny when that comes out.
Cool. How much are they generally?
I saw the first one out for 125, so I imagine that'll be a bit more, won't it?
No, that's its price in CX because you can't get hold of it.
I
But it's
thought
in the
that's how
window
much
in
they were.
CX and it was like 125.
Oh, right, I've seen them going for about that on eBay. I assume that was sort of around the price.
Yeah, no, I
go
think they're
for.
cheaper than that. I think they were cheaper than that.
So possibly collectible then.
Yeah. The box, the packaging looks pretty much
And to,
like
to be honest, it's Nintendo, and they never make enough of anything, which is why their prices always stay high on all their
Yeah,
hardware
yeah.
and software.
Stay in demand. Yeah. So yeah, that's while we're on the subject of games, we're not really going to do a games section of the podcast unless something warrants us doing a separate show, really. So if you're wondering where the game section is, well, it will appear again at some point.
If there's news at the moment, we'll mention it. But
Yeah.
if it's not major news, then we'll save it for a topic
If
or for a
it's-
separate show.
if it transcends video games and permeates into popular culture in the same way as like when Rockstar announced something, so like
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption, or if there was a new Metal Gear Solid,
Yeah.
something like that, then we'll talk about it. But if it's just fucking me waffling on about, the latest version of Doom's really good in 4K on a T16 with 18.5 gigabytes of
Then we'll
RAM,
ignore it.
then forget it. No one wants to hear that.
So we're talking things like E3 and
Yeah.
bits like that. We'll do a show for. So yes, that's it for the snooze button this week. Let's wrap it up with where can we find you? Where can we find you, Paul?
Oh, well, I will be loitering as usual on my little shop, Rocket Punch Collectibles, but there will also be another shop going live this week called Curiosity.
Little Shop of Robots.
Ah.
Curiosity.
Yeah, Curiosity.
Yeah,
there you go.
Nice.
And it's going to be selling all sorts of really odd stuff, as you can imagine. But there will be some really nice retro toy items on there. I've got some really good Star Wars items coming up at the moment. And I've even got some Revenge of the Jedi merchandise coming up. So,
Cool.
yeah,
What
keep a
the
lookout.
fuck?
Yeah.
Tell me about this real quick.
Yeah.
You've got 1 minute.
I have an original movie production slide that belonged to one
I've
of the members
seen
of the
this, haven't
camera
I?
crew.
Yeah.
And
It's signed by one of them.
and it's marked
cameraman.
up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got the cameraman's name on it, and it was part of the production slide work.
Did you
for
find out how
Revenge of
much
the
it was
Jedi.
worth?
Not as of yet. I've got a few figures in my head. It's not gonna be cheap, but it's an incredibly rare item, and it's very nice condition. So it's gonna be, please have a look.
I've got some of the film clips signed by the guy of Yoda, signed by the guy who created him.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Well, this one's a Yoda image,
Oh, right.
so it would tie in with that really nicely. Yeah.
Where can we find your shop, Paul?
You will
Or
find
shops.
us both on Facebook, and where you'll find links from Facebook to the shop front on eBay.
Cool. We will link those on our Facebook page as well.
Thank you very much.
Adam?
You can find me at Adam Gatchell Arts on Facebook and YouTube doing my thing. I should hopefully have a new, I don't know what you call music videos when it's poetry. Poetry for videos sounds a bit up itself. It's basically a comical video of one of my poems coming up soon, so that will be out shortly, and more to come, plus other bits and bobs. But yeah, all at Adam Gatchell Arts on Facebook and the YouTubes.
Ross?
I just suddenly thought of this the other day. Add me on PlayStation Network and play Battlefield with me and my friends.
What's your name?
Roscoe Baby. That's
Roscoe Baby.
ROSSCOBABY.
Cool.
Yeah.
Find him and kill him.
Right, I know. Join me, and forever we will rule the galaxy.
Find him and kill him. Right. And me. You'll find me chained to a desk editing this podcast for forever. And you can listen to our other podcast on this channel as of Thursday this week.
Woo!
Thank you very much. We'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.